My name is Kathy. I was married for just short of 27 years, and I have 3 children that I've been blessed with, a son and 2 daughters. And I came to the Barnabas Center about 10 years ago when I was going through a very stressful marriage. I remember pouring out my heart to the counselor I had at the time and telling him how I was crying all the time. And I just didn't understand why. And he told me that what I was actually doing was grieving over my marriage, the death of my marriage. It was like grieving the death of a loved one. And I realized, wow, he's right. That's what was going on. And I was watching my marriage slowly dying, and I was agonizing over it. So it made sense. When I could see it in that framework, it made perfect sense to me. A few years ago, I was being pushed into a divorce that I did not want. I had seen it coming, but I don't believe in divorce. It wasn't an option, so I knew that I was going to need perspective if my children and I were going to make it through the heartache that I could see coming ahead. So once again, I headed back to the Barnabas Center, and I was so blessed to find Cheryl. And her name is spelled exactly like my sister's, so I was very comfortable right away talking to her and perfectly at ease. It was that simple. But because I love God, I wanted to be able to stand before Him with a pure heart someday. I wanted to be able to say that I had not done anything that would dishonor Him. And so I vowed that I was going to be very transparent with Cheryl and not gloss over any of my weaknesses or any of my faults throughout this process. I was continually amazed every time I would come back each week and Cheryl would have these thoughtful questions for me. And I was able to keep working through the process little by little all the time. And another question would come through and it'd help give me clarity of thought. It would point out truth to me. It would help with perspective. I needed perspective on this situation that would help me get through it, that would help me to cope. So I really appreciated how time after time Cheryl could come up with the next question that I needed. It was truly a blessing. And it was important for me that my integrity was going to be intact during this whole process because it drug on. The whole process drug on for a little while. And I wanted to know that I was doing everything that I could to honor my God. I'm positive that I emptied out an entire box of Kleenex during the months that I was with Cheryl. That was just going to be a given. But it didn't matter because when I walked out of the doors of the Barnabas Center, I had a feeling of peace, and I knew that healing was taking place. It was happening slowly but surely, but God was replacing the insecurity, the uncertainty with peace, and I was being healed slowly. Not only did that help me, but it also was going to help my children because I could be the mom that I needed to be at home for my kids. I could be stable. I could be upbeat. I would have my down days, but God always brought me back up. The support that I received through the Barnabas Center was immeasurable. Even the receptionists, Rosemary and Marcia and Nancy, exuded the warmth and compassion that was a balm to my battered heart. We aren't meant to walk through life's difficulties alone. I feel so sorry for those who go through life's heartaches without God at their side. I was able to come out on the other side of so many years of heartache and know who I am in Christ and that His strength is all that I really need. I think I probably quoted Jeremiah 29:11 over 100 times as I was going through the process of putting behind me all my previous hopes and dreams. And it says, "For I know the plans that I have for you. They're plans to prosper you and not to harm you." And through that, God has assured me He already knows all of my future plans. And I can trust Him with my future because He has my future in the palm of his hands.